If you are a One Piece collector, investor, or player, you are going to want to watch this video because, guys, things are heating up quickly in the One Piece TCG. We are talking about a bull run that may just be the beginning of something even bigger, and you are going to want to know what is going on, which is what we're going to be talking about in today's video, guys. But before we get into it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are quickly approaching 5,000 subscribers. I think we can hit it before the New Year's, so if you leave a like and subscribe, that'd be super great. And I'm affiliated with cardtrader.com, guys. If you want a safe place to buy cards online, click the link down in the description below, use my code Treasure Theory, get 5% off your first order, and get your cards securely. All right, guys, without any further ado, let's see what's going on here. So, guys, way back in the beginning of the year, I started this channel, and, since then, I've gone through such a very interesting phase with bringing you guys One Piece content, taking a look at the markets, understanding everything a lot more, and I have to say, speeding up to where we are today, and I would even say in the last month or two, things have been happening very quickly. And what am I talking about? Well, guys, the prices of everything are going through the roof. We recently did a video on treasure rares. We can see that this Luffy card, which was around $37-40 back in June, July, has skyrocketed 440%. It is now a over $200 card on the US, which is crazy. We have seen the prices of manga cards starting to skyrocket. I actually bought this card for $1,000, made a video, people were roasting me because it dropped right down. As we could see, it was pretty low. Now I'm getting comments of people saying, okay, I think this is an interesting card. It's been interesting to see the change in the commentary. The mangas are being bought out. We look at the SPs. The SPs right now are super hot. Look at this Boa SP, got up 170. I mean, this SP is literally it's like almost $700 US, guys. This is absolutely incredible if you've been holding these cards or happen to get these cards before all this craziness has begun. But, I will say right now, if you haven't gotten the chance to buy any of these cards, it's definitely not the best time. I mean, look at this Zoro gone up 138%. It's a $500 card now, guys. This card, how much was that card again? This card 3 months ago was $145. So, guys, it is very clear things are heating up very quickly. Not to mention, the One Piece booster boxes, the sealed cases now, have also been going up. Let's take a quick look at something here. The Romance Dawn Wave 1 box with the blue on the bottom, the very first original One Piece TCG box, is almost $5,000 US. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's over. I'm priced out. I'm not going to be able to get the things I want to get, the cards I want to get, the booster boxes I want to get. And guys, I want to offer a little bit of hope. Okay, which is why I kind of wanted to firstly, show you what is currently happening, just kind of go through it, and, I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I'm personally doing, because, listen, I'm in the same boat. If you think I'm some mega rich dude who's buying all these cards, you are wrong, okay? I am in the same boat as you guys. I really want so many of these SPs. I wanted the Monkey D. Luffy SP. I wanted the silver one. I didn't even need the gold one. And it's literally, it's $2,000 US, $2,500, $2,600. There's plenty of cards I've wanted to. But before we get into the strategies and stuff like that, I think I want to just kind of quickly dissect what is happening, what I think is contributing to these price increases besides the obvious stuff. And then I'll get into what I'm thinking about doing about it. So, guys, a lot of people are saying that this is mainly a bull run that is being jump-started by the Pokebro investors. And while to some degree I do believe that there are people who have big money and who are making big swings into the One Piece TCG, I do think there is also the fact that One Piece is continuously growing as an IP. It is getting bigger and bigger by the day. And while, yes, I do think there are outside factors where Pokebro investors are coming in and trying to take over the market and capitalize on cheap cards, I do also think all of this news, all of these new sets, all of these episodes we've been getting, although it's going to be a seasonal anime soon, which sucks, but we've been getting great stuff from the manga and Oda himself, giving us incredible storylines. I think that there are a lot of people who are starting to wake up and realizing that One Piece is different. Now, another thing I want to bring up too is we are not seeing a lot of forces outside of Pokemon influencing the One Piece TCG when it comes to communities. I mean, who is investing a lot of money in Flesh and Blood? or in Union Arena, or, Dragon Ball, which, by the way, no hate on any of those games. I do personally like Dragon Ball, and I do collect cards from time to time. But let's look at what happened with Magic. So remember earlier in the year when Magic released Final Fantasy, and it had people losing their minds because they were introducing 77 golden Chocobo cards you could potentially get from these cards, and we did a video on that, and we broke down how little your chances of getting one of those were. But if you were one of the lucky people who got it, this card was going... Well, the cards in general, well, actually, this is the first one, but they were going for tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. I personally think this sparked some kind of speculative new interest in Magic, where mainly it's just a player base decided to come over and get invested into Final Fantasy. But then fast forward to the next set, which was the Marvel Spider-Man set, and we saw a massive tank. And why is that? Although the Infinity Stone concept was cool and that was in this set, and I believe the card is roughly being sold or selling for $25,000 to $30,000, which is not cheap by any means. It's not serialized. Now, I think it kind of just caused a bit of a disturbance in this whole concept of serialized cards being introduced into Magic, and we saw the prices tank. And, of course, when Avatar came out, basically the same thing happened again, and I think people have just kind of lost interest in investing in Magic at the moment. Now, I also want to bring your attention over to Pokemon real quick. Over the last couple of sets, we can see that the prices of cards are not really going anywhere. I mean, looking at the last 3 months for the Black Bolt set here, we can see, although yes, this card is $400 US, which isn't bad, it hasn't really been doing a lot of movement in the last 3 months. Looking at the Victini, in the last, it hasn't even really been 6 months, but we can see this card is gone up a little bit, so it's not all bad for Pokemon. But for the majority of other cards, guys, there just hasn't been crazy price movements. I mean, looking at Prismatics, let's look at the Umbreon. So in the last 6 months, the card has actually lost 2% of its initial growth. We can see it went up. There was a massive sell-off here. It went up again. So, things are kind of just not really blowing up, so to speak, when it comes to Pokemon. And although, look at this. In 6 months, these cards are just kind of not really doing a whole lot. Now, that obviously isn't every single card in Pokemon, but I do think that's what's going on, because One Piece, it's still semi-new, and it's still got an incredible player base and card base and the quality, and there's so many cool designs and so many interesting things are happening in the One Piece TCG right now that I think people are finally catching wind, and unfortunately, people from outside of the One Piece community are also coming in and infiltrating the prices. So now that we've got an idea as to what's going on here, how about we talk about what we can plan around this, what's the strategy, and all that sort of stuff. So, guys, I'm just going to scream from the rooftops again and say that Treasure Cup cards are still a great investment, and I do still think they are underpriced. These cards are incredibly difficult to come by because you can't get them from a pack, okay? You have to buy them off of people who participated in the Treasure Cup events, which is basically the championships and the regionals and all that sort of stuff of people playing the game and winning. And guys, the population of these cards is significantly low, and we're going to do a video on that down the road. But let's take a look. This Chopper card alone has actually gone up. Let's see here. In 6 months, it's gone up 50%. And I happened to snag this card 6 months ago. So I'm kind of laughing here, but it's pretty great. You can't get this card anywhere else other than buying it from other people. And there are cards that we don't even have data on because they're so rare and limited. Now, you might argue and say, well, Treasure Cup cards, their prices don't fluctuate that much. They're kind of still. And here's the thing, guys. When we look at the gold Shanks, okay, the gold SP Shanks, this beautiful looking card that I personally want in my collection, we can see the prices dropped 36%. Now, it's definitely going to go up as time passes and we move on to set 14, 15, 16, etc., like every other SP. However, there is something that I don't think people are understanding. You can buy a stock, and the stock can go up, and the stock can drop significantly, right? There's risk. But the thing with Treasure Cup cards, guys, is that their prices are actually pretty stable, which is very interesting. Let's look at the GARP. So in 6 months, GARP has only gone down 0.17%, so he has basically stabilized his price at $600. And again, we need to realize these prices are not really being massively influenced because they're very limited print. So they're rare, they're stable. I'm not going to compare this to gold, but in a way, Treasure Cup cards, not all, but certain ones, do seem to sustain their value. Let's look at the Dracula Mihawk. This came out last year in 2014. It has basically stayed the course at $900 US. Now, we've got listed median prices of $2,000 US as well, and we're not even looking at PSAs. So that's just one little sign of hope I want to give you guys. Treasure Cup cards, although a little expensive, are still decent prices and are stabilized prices, which is interesting to consider. Now, another thing to consider as well is that treasure rare cards are still affordable, okay? I mean, let's look at the Sanji one. The Sanji one has gone up 213%, but you can still get this card for about $55, $60 US. I actually recently pulled this card, or I didn't pull it, I bought it for about $35, $40 a couple months ago. Feeling pretty good about it. I am seeing this Ace card starting to get a little more expensive, but it is still $80. And listen, treasure rare cards are actually very rare cards to come by. You can only get one per case, I believe, which is less than SPs. And somebody made an argument that, well, there are more SPs and they're more appealing and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Listen, when it comes to supply and demand, it's a very simple kind of factor, and these are really nice looking cards. They're not as nice as SPs, but they are still rare and they are still unique. Just like this frickin' Nami, man, which has shot up almost 300%. This card's now going for $200. However, guys, it's not like these cards are thousands of dollars. So there's still some hope to invest into some stuff that you might, or collect, I should say, because I don't want to tell you that these are incredible investing opportunities, but for collectors and people who are looking to still kind of spread their wings, kind of grab a couple of things here and there and not get caught with an empty bag, if you want to say that, or when these prices fall, you know, I think that may be a good idea. Now, let's look at the mangas real quick. Should you be going out there and buying these mangas when these prices are skyrocketing? Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, okay? Some of these manga cards have definitely gone up a nice little bit. Buggy here has gone up 33%, which if you ask me, isn't insane. But I do know for the average player and collector, $1,000 for a card is not really affordable. Which is why, you know, talking about manga cards, investing in these cards right now as the prices are so high, it's a risky game. I could tell you these cards are going to double, triple in the next year, or they could tank in the next 6 months. I do think we're going through a bit of an interesting time right now. I do think One Piece is just on a trajectory up, 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 because the manga is still mega, mega great, and Oda is still cooking his magnificent story. We are still getting new sets that are coming out. The scarcity is still well done per set, and the condition of the cards, the look of the cards, and the introduction of new things like those SPs, man. I mean, like, these SPs, like in PRBO2, we were shown these like gold trim almost SP cards. This Charlotte Pudding card, which I want, is now $300 when it was initially around $200. Now, obviously, the prices are fluctuating and stuff like that, and Pudding is obviously not a big character. But look at this Nami SP. This Nami SP has gone up 94% in 3 months alone, guys. And 88% in 6 months. This is crazy. This card was $170 US back in July. So there's a lot of headwinds in this space. I do think the main characters are obviously going to be the cards that people desire the most, but are also going to be the trickiest to play around with. We can see these cool monochrome cards are starting to go up in price as well. I mean, this card was about $80 US, and now it's shot up to $155 US, approaching $200. But it is still affordable. So guys, like at the end of the day, although there are a lot of cards that people may feel they're getting priced out of, I do still think there is opportunity here to get some great cards. I do think you need to play your cards right when it comes to investing. But if you're also collecting, I mean, listen, you know, collect the cards you want to collect. But if you're here for investment advice, guys, you know, the mangas, the SPs, the treasure rares, the treasure cups, obviously the top chase cards are your best play. And if you can't afford all of these top cards, I think the SPs are probably the best play in the book right now while they are still affordable. I mean, looking at the sugar card, it's gone up 107% in 3 months, but it is still affordable at $73. So honestly, guys, all I can really say about it is don't get caught in these major price fluctuations, I should say. But I wouldn't necessarily give up hope on investing in some cards and collecting in some cards. There are still some interesting things that could turn into something else down the road. I mean, maybe these gold leader cards that we saw from EBO2, maybe they become the next big thing soon. The truth is, we just don't know. But with that all being said, guys, invest responsibly, be safe out there, and real quick, if you're looking to invest in sealed product, I mean, if you can get the most expensive ones first, that would probably be the best thing, because quite frankly, I do think sealed products are going to be a really good investment long term. I don't think that there's any negative. I don't think there's any downside to collecting these and investing in these. Specifically, EBO1, OPO1, the first wave, the second wave starting to go up too, but you don't get the pre-errata cards. OPO5, OPO9, OP13, PRBO1, PRBO2, EBO2. I mean, guys, listen, the list goes on and on. But anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video, and I do hope this video was helpful and insightful for you. But if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. A video should pop up on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.